Hi friends, welcome. We'll try to create application files, a standalone executable file which you can run it in our system directly without any support of the platform. Say we don't require Python to run a GUI application, so directly we can run it in our environment. So these standalone executive files we will create by using PyInstaller. So we'll start with a simple application and then we'll move to a database integration also, where user can run a database application by using a standalone package or whatever we created. Now before we move, my request is please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we post tutorials. Let's start the script. All the source code and the instructions whatever will follow are all available here. You can just visit this URL. This is available in the description and check the code here. This is a Python code which gives us a changing clock or a time it shows. Here you can see the format what you are using. You can change this format also to give our today's date and time also. You can add whatever it is. Let's just see this how this Python code output is. This is the output. You can see it gives the hour, minute, second and all. You can just add it slightly by changing the format here, hour, minute, second. Then you can add the date and month also. So now using this will create our application or executable file. We'll create the application here. This is the folder where our final output or the application will be stored. We'll give our command here. So let's just allow more space here. So here it is. I'm just pasting a command here. You can see this is up to this point is the path, because I am not using in this terminal any environment variable. So directly I am giving the path where my Python is. In your case this may not be required. Now this -m install means it is telling that this PyInstaller run it as a module. If you are not installed PyInstaller, then here you can use pip install PyInstaller. So pip install PyInstaller will install the module totally to your system. I assume that you have already installed, otherwise you just type here pip install PyInstaller, so the module will be installed. Now here there are two commands you can see, one file, then the window, and then what we are giving is this is the clock.py is the source path, or this particular you can see d testing and clock.py. This is the path in where our source file is, and this dispatch will give you where the final application will be stored. Just now we have seen that our directory name my underscore app, that is where the directory is completely empty. Here you can see my app. So this is the folder is empty. Here it will be created. So we'll give the command. If I run this command, now let's see how the file is created. It will take bit time. It will process it. It's combining, and the clock means it will show us the time change. You see the last line, it is completed. Building executive from ex thing completed successfully. So now let's go to our directory. Here it is. Now if I'll click this is the application what is being created. It's a single file. That's what the command we have given. So you can see the command. Now let's run this clock. And directly double clicking this, so the clock will execute in our platform. Here it is. So it is showing, it is running, and it is showing me the time, change in time. So this is how the clock is. Now next we will see one more application. Once again here all the commands are there. Pip install PyInstaller, you can install it. Now whatever the command we have used now, first we have used the time. So for that this is the command you can use directly. Now let's go to the calculator one. For calculator also here is the command, sample command. This is the single window, one file create it without a GUI window, and dispatch it means store it in this application. Let's come here to our Visual Studio Code. Here we are. This is our calculator application. Now let me just run it once to see. It's a very simple calculator. You can see the entire source code is also available. Here it is, 89 into 5 equal to, okay, whatever. It's a simple calculator, division, multiplication, all is there. Few lines of code you can see here. It is around 45 lines of code. You can check the source code also. If I'll go here again, here it is, and you can source code, you can click this, go to the calculator source code, you can check here, read the instructions, and source code you can get it from here. Then you can come back here again to our system. here all the commands are noted. Now let's create the our file again, application calculator. So I am just pasting the command again. See here, or let me just do one thing. I will just clear it first once, then I will paste it again. Okay, now let me paste it again. Here is the command. This is my executable. In your case, if it is a environment variable you have used, then it is not required. Directly you can start from PyInstaller one file, because a bunch of supporting files will be created. If you don't want that, everything will combine to a one file. Windows means it's not a GUI, it's not a application which will run from the command line. Directly a Windows application will run, and then this is the source code, is where calculator, you can just see here it is testing calculator. That's what I have written it here. Dispatch means which file the application will be created. Now all these commands we have explained it in our table here. If you want to see it, here it is PyInstaller. At the end, if you come, you can see here it is, a table of commands are already there. You can just see this one file, what is windowed, this list you can see. Now let's go to our installer. This is calculator. Yes, I am just running this, so it will take little time it will take to create it. Okay, finally created. Now let's go to our application file. So here now I am here my app. Inside this already earlier clock, now it is calculator what you have developed. So let's run this. I am double clicked there, so we'll run this calculator now. Yeah, here it is it's the application, it is not a Python script now. 87 plus 23 equal to 110. So like this you can generate the application. Next we will see how we'll create database applications. We'll create a database application. Here our script will connect to MySQL database and collect some data and show it. So the user interaction will be using a paging script. So forward or backward we can move and display 10 records in our window. But here it is that when you develop this application, we'll also take support of a JSON file. So where the user will input its user ID, password and DB detail, database name. So that way what happens is any user can download it, and its own system, it will have its unique user ID and password for MySQL database. So we'll use the separate JSON file to take their data. Now what happens when you first time we create this application, it will look for the JSON file. When you run it, it will look for the JSON file for the database credentials. Once the user enters that, so that way what happens, this application we can give it to multiple users to enter their own login details. We'll copy the code from here, dv-config.json file. This is a one line code only. So we'll take it. I have already created the dv_config JSON file inside the my app directory, because that is where our app will be generated. So here I am entering my ID here, and so this is the DB name. So ID, user ID, password, then my database name. This I have generated. I saved it. You just want to see, you can see here, this is where the dv-config.json file inside that my app. So here the app will be created and it will use this dv.config file. Now coming back to our MySQL database, our main source file. This is the file. You can see at the top I am declaring this variable here, taking the file name, then I am just checking the JSON file where configuration file, and here this configuration file, if it is not there, then it gives the error message, file not found error. Otherwise it connects it here, create engine and connect this, take the credential from there and connect it. This will go as a application file, or this will be our executable file, and it search for the config file and give. So any user along with the application, when they use it, they can keep their own user ID and password to use our application. Now back to our source file again. Here it is. Now let me just give a little, we'll move it up here. So we'll execute the command. I am pasting it here. So you can see PyInstaller one file, windowed, and dispatch. Here this will be created. Testing, windowed up to this my app. This is the where our application will be, then the mysql1.py, this is the source file. Let's run this and see how this works. So this will be creating our executable file. So yeah, it is completed. Now let me just go to there. So here it is, MySQL1, what you have created the application, database application. It connects backend, connects to MySQL database and takes the records. Let's run this. So it will look for dv config and it will take the user ID, password, credentials. For that, yeah, here it is. You can see the records are displayed here. Now I am going to the clicking the next 10 records, next 10 records, next. This is the entire source code. You can get it. The link is there. And we have a separate tutorial on how this works. Now all these rows of data are taken from the database, and here the dv config contains our user ID and password. So anybody is downloading should keep the dv_config.json file in the same application directory, so our application can read the credentials and connect to our database. Next, we will develop more applications where we will be using SQLite database and other sources also, so we can develop it. That's what will be our next tutorial on using SQLite database. That's all, friends. Hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and you can build your own application, standalone application, so and distribute it to your friends and others. So this is the basics of it. Next tutorial we will see how using different other sources, say SQLite database or Excel or CSV file, how we'll generate the application. That we will see next. Before we close, my request is please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add tutorials, and we are frequently doing that also. If you have any doubts, suggestions, questions, use the comment section below. Please subscribe and share this with your friends. Thank you for watching.